That was Chris Thiele's Raining at Sunset, played on this wonderful Girouard mandolin. I want to talk to you today about Girouard mandolins in general, and about this Girouard mandolin called a Talon, T-L-O-N in particular. Girouard mandolins are made right here in my home state of Rhode Island by Max Girouard and his wife Lori. Max is the builder, and Lori does the finish work, and she does a wonderful job. Because it's local, I've gotten to go into the shop and see how Max makes these wonderful mandolins. And I think his building technique is very similar to a guy I've read a lot about online named Len Dudenbostel, who's a famous mandolin builder. They use the same type of CNC machine, which is a computerized machine that does real exacting work. So if you want to cut the perfect fretboard, that's the machine you want. And you can also use it to rough carve your plates, which are the top and back of the mandolin, so that you can spend all your time doing the detailed carving by hand, which is what Max does. All hand assembled with traditional techniques, using hot hide glue to hold it together, which is what they used on violins hundreds of years ago. Same finish that they used on violins as well, an oil-based varnish finish. No polyester finish on these mandolins, and it's quite lovely to look at, but even better, it lets the wood breathe and it adds to the tone. Max's mandolins are extremely light. He likes to build them without a truss rod. It's a custom shop, so he will put a truss rod in, but this mandolin has a carbon reinforced neck, much like Ralph Gerhardt's mandolins, Phoenix mandolins. I owned a Phoenix mandolin, the neck was perfect. This neck is perfect. Every Girouard I've played, the necks are just beautiful. So big fan of that. Very lightweight mandolin and very, very resonant. And I think a lot of that has to do with the build. So best of both worlds. Using the modern technique and the traditional techniques, you have a very, very accurate and precise mandolin that has that old world tone. So let's talk about this Talon, which is, I believe, the third that Max has built. I own the prototype that I love, and I love this one as well. This is number 124. It says it was built in October 2015, but I know that this was just recently strung up. It's now November, and I'm really the first one that got to play it, and I want to thank Max for that. So this 2-point mandolin, I think, takes a lot of cues from an F5. The carving of the upper point is much like the carving of an F5. It does lack the scroll, but I actually like the simplicity, the modern take on it. Real nice looking mandolin. It's got a traditional burst finish on it. It's fully bound. Ivoroid binding. So front, back, headstock, neck are all bound. Got a lovely ebony plate on the headstock with an inlay made out of shell. It's a lily, which I appreciate because my daughter's name is Lily. Mother of pearl dots on the fretboard, and the script is mother of pearl. Ebony fretboard, radiused medium gauge fret wire. Ebony bridge, Max's own bridge. Full contact bridge, which I think gives it more tone and volume. It's got a cast tailpiece and Allen tailpiece, which makes string changing real easy. And I like what Max did. He picked up on this little curve on the top of the tailpiece and put it on the bottom of his fretboard, and again on the top of the headstock. And it's quite a balanced, nice looking mandolin. Setup is great. It's a 1.4 millimeter pick, not going anywhere. The neck is a V-shaped neck, very thin, very comfortable. A lot like a Collings, although a little less dramatic V. Very comfortable, fits right in my hand as if he made it for me, which he did not. What I like best about the mandolin is not the look, although it is beautiful, but the tone. And rather than try to describe it, I'm just going to play it again. And I've chosen to play a song that my friend Frank wrote, and wrote a little mandolin piece to it, and I'm going to play that mandolin part. The reason I chose to play it is I play it up the neck a lot. And I want you to hear how perfect the intonation is and how even this is across the fretboard. So let's give it a listen. I hope you enjoy it. Again, the song is called A Better Life.